Live.
Hello.
Hello, YouTube.
This is Twitch, not
wrong
YouTube.
platform.
YouTube is later. This Twitch first.
Go Twitch first. This is me
Then
practicing my potential Irda.
Is that your ear voice?
It's my potential Irda. Hey, we have horizontal. Hey!
Well,
all right.
Just not mess with that anymore.
Welcome, friends.
Is everything up?
Everything's up. I see all green lights on my end.
Yay.
Touch things.
Good news, everyone.
My screen has gone entirely green. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm very hungry, dying of hunger, so I'm gonna eat some mashed potatoes while we stream tonight. Because this is LMA, and I can eat some mashed potatoes if I want.
I mean...
If Vivi can eat on GHA,
yeah,
then I can eat on LMA.
That's just her thing. Her characters eat, she eats, it's great.
I feel like that's just a convenient excuse she comes up with to eat.
I don't know. Maybe it's just brilliant.
Well then, why don't we transition?
Are we transitioning?
To our next little view. I love that transition. It's so cool.
Ah.
The explosive dragon. Hi, yes, everyone.
Yeah.
They can see your faces.
We're seen.
You are seen. I'm gonna adjust Pat's camera to be a bit more to the left, while we sort of introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Evelyn, why don't you take over?
You can.
Except you're loud child. I will take over. Hi, everybody. You saw my face hosting last night. My host face is hosting again, with the assistance of Evelyn, the ever gorgeous, and the amazing troll of our stream, PatDraws. No, I want to watch the stream. Yes. Oh, stop, please.
There we go.
Good
now.
Tonight, we are discussing fan art, which is one of my absolute favorite things of all time. I love fan art. It's so cool, and we have the king of fan art on Blue Box here with us.
I don't know about a king, but...
Well...
Our most prolific fan artist.
He's definitely the king. Don't listen to him. There's a reason he's on this LMA. And he's going to give us, hopefully, some insights into his methods, into his...
Oh, my secrets.
His wizardly
secrets. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anything you want to say, Evelyn?
We're here. So, yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome to LMA number 69. We're talking to Pat, who you all are probably very familiar with. He hangs out with us in chat on Sundays and Tuesdays and sometimes Wednesdays when he's able to. And he does all of our really awesome fan art that if you go to our Discord, you can see it. And it's awesome, and we love it. And we decided to have Pat on so we could talk a little bit about his process and like how he does it so fast when we're in the middle of stream.
Like, look at that! That was so quick!
Yeah. But yeah, so, welcome
Huzzah.
to LMA.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, Pat. How long have you been doing art?
I started very, very young. I think I was 8 when I painted my first picture. But it was a typical 8-year-old picture. It was a snowman in front of a cabin. So,
a snowman in front of a cabin was your first painting.
And it looked like an 8-year-old snowman in front of a cabin.
Right.
So don't get any ideas of grandeur.
It was a classic Bob Ross.
Three white circles and little dots for a thing, and then...
Happy little snowman.
Happy little snowman.
I had inspiration from my mom. My mom was also an artist, and some of her best friends were artists. So I had a little bit of tutelage, not a whole lot. I am completely self-taught. I never went to school. I did art in high school, and if anybody's taken art in high school, I don't know about now, but back then it was like, here's a piece of paper, draw this. And, you had the people that would draw that, and it would look like a stick figure, and then you had people who could draw it a little bit better, That was art. And then the senior year, it was more of, okay, we want you to actually apply yourself and make decent art. And so that's when I started laying down on my stomach in my room and drawing pictures on the floor. And I was actually kind of good at it. So,
I think
but
you're
then I
pretty good
joined the
at it now
Navy
too.
and stopped drawing for a while. But then on my first ship, there were some guys that were also artists, and they were really good. And I was like, well, if they can draw here, why can't I? So I started drawing, and I did some of my more prouder works. If you go to my Twitter, it's the some of the more recent pictures. You'll see it's a picture of Madonna and an arm and a Pegasus and stuff like that. That's the stuff that I drew in high school and in the Navy, and that was all traditional. There was no digital, and then from then on, it's just a matter of see something I liked, I'd try to draw it, would try to change it to something else better I like, which a lot of people is like, well, I don't have a style. Nobody has a style. I'm gonna try to dispel a lot of myths today about people who say they can't draw and can't be an artist. Hopefully, but nobody has a style.
I'm gonna really quickly show people the Madonna that you're talking about because it's just gorgeous, and like what you're saying with style is like it looks nowhere near the type of stuff that you make for Blue Box right now, but that doesn't mean that you have to be locked into that.
I didn't have any. I mean, I had interest in like anime and cartoony style stuff, but I thought to be an artist you had to be more realistic, and so
look at this.
This is one of my proudest pictures.
Look at the leather jacket.
Not only did it come out excellent.
Yeah.
It was also a gift for my future sister-in-law, but in the Navy, I don't know for people who've been in the Navy and been on a ship, we don't have dorms or barracks or whatever. You have what's called berthing compartments, and you're literally sleeping in what's called a coffin rack, and it's nothing more than half the size of a twin mattress, about this thin. I can't remember about that thin, and there's 3 of them stacked up, and I was literally on the very top rack, and I had like 2.5 feet of clearance space and a little tiny fluorescent light bulb to draw this with, and it came out looking like that. And I spent literally, I think, 5 straight hours doing this picture.
He drew this in a cave with a box of scraps, is what he did.
Cave, more like a metal box, yeah, a big giant metal box with a bunch of 30 to 40 sweaty sailors.
Like, there's some other gorgeous stuff that you've done. The
Pegasus I did in high school, I'm really mad at this picture. I'm not mad about the picture, but I drew this picture as a solid image, and I took it in for the class, and the teacher was like, well, that's great, but that's not what the assignment was. You have to incorporate color into it.
Oh.
And he literally made me, I have no way of pointing here, but if you look, you can see where I actually had to cut out sections of my picture and put colored pieces, yeah, right there, colored pieces behind it.
Yeah.
Like down at the bottom of the
yeah, right over here you can see some.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, by the ship at the bottom of the flowing thing, you'll see
it's hard because it's vertical, and I think it's supposed to be horizontal, and I can't really zoom in on it because it's already such a small piece of my screen. But
the waves were from a Japanese art book that was.
I was going to say it looks like The Wave, the classic painting.
A little travel Gideon Bible back you used to get in the motel rooms. So picture that picture about half that size. So I took those waves. Again, this is one of my floor drawings where I laid on the floor in my bedroom at home and drew the waves. And then I found another book that had the Pegasus in it, so I drew the Pegasus. And then the clouds were my own design, and then I added the ship and all that. And I was really happy with it. And I was really mad that the teacher said, well, you're going to fail if you don't put color in it. And I literally had to cut parts out of this out. So I could put color.
You can see there's a hole right here.
Oh, yeah.
There's a hole down up here. There's a hole right here.
But it was one of those. It was like one of those. I hate you so much, dude. And this was the art teacher, which is funny, that told me I would never be a good artist because I used such heavy lines. I outlined everything. He says, like, nobody's going to buy a giant coloring book. You know? Nowadays, there's like adult coloring books all over.
All over the place.
Most of my art that I do has big, thick, heavy lines in it, and it's just like, F you. You know, so whenever you get a teacher who tells you something negative about what you're doing, just ignore that dude. The whole thing about doing art is to enjoy it.
Right.
Take something that you enjoy and make something from nothing. And that's art. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be good. All it has to be is something you're happy with.
Totally agree.
That is art. That is art in a nutshell.
Not to throw a wrench in the works either, my wife actually recently started going to college nearby for studio art. She's been doing a lot of the stuff that you have done in your time at high school, and she absolutely loves the fact that people will tell her why her art is bad, because she hasn't had people do that before. But they do it in much more, I imagine, constructive ways than maybe your teacher was doing.
Well, yes, when you're going to college and art school and stuff like that, they're not really telling you that your art is bad. They're telling you that what they're trying. Well, no, what they're trying to tell you is that you may not be doing it in the way that they're asking you to do it. In other words, we want you to use a monochrome value of this color, and you've decided to go, I want to add these colors. That's them going like, no, that's not what we've asked you to do. There's a reason we're asking you to do this. We want you to learn about monochromatic values and how they pertain to shapes and light sources and blah, blah, blah. I mean, when you go to college, you're paying a lot of money to have somebody tell you, hey, you're not doing what I asked you to do. And I'm going to fail you. And then you're not going to be an artist.
State of Tennessee's pretty great. We're not paying to go to college.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, this is a great thing of monochromatic value right here. This is actually from a very standard anatomy book. Almost every artist knows this artist. I don't know his name anymore. It's been too long. But he does all his anatomy studies look like stuff like this. And I saw that arm and it was just like, that looks really cool. And the assignment was to do monochromatic, 3 values. So that's what I came up with.
So then, do you have to do all of this stuff to make the kind of fan art that you make?
No, but nobody starts out doing fan art the way anybody does fan art. Which is the thing that annoys me the most about people. It's like, I wish I could draw. You can. Nobody starts out being a great artist. They all start out with what you see here on my screen. That's how it starts. I mean, seriously. You start off with something like this, okay? And this is I'm not gonna go anymore with this because I wanna show everybody, and this is why I wanted you guys to follow along a little bit.
I'll get a piece of paper.
Yes. And Evie has been forgiven. She has given valid excuses to why she cannot follow along. And it has nothing to do with the cute
move my mashed potatoes off of my desk. All right.
Pencil would be better. Pencil would be better, but if you don't, then pen will be fine. Okay.
Is that number 2 graphite?
That's fine. Does it have a point?
It's got a decent point.
Does it have an eraser?
It has an eraser.
You don't need it. Don't worry about it. Okay. People come up and say, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. You guys have heard that, right?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. Thomas, I want you to write out your full name, print it neatly, legibly, as if you were going to do it for a lawyer who says, hey, if you want this money, I need your whole name, I need it printed, I need it legible. Okay? Go ahead.
I feel like I'm being tested.
No.
I'll write my full name. Don't dox me, but you all know what my name is.
But you're gonna hold it up to the camera when you're done because I need to critique it. Okay.
Critique my name.
Okay.
It's
I
backwards.
see 2 straight lines in your first letter alone. I see 3 straight lines in your second letter. I see a nice circle. I see a triangular shape, and I see a nice wiggly line just in your first name alone.
I'm an artist.
Those are the basics of art. No, I'm serious.
No,
Those
you're
are
right.
the basics of art. People who complain that they can't draw a straight line with a ruler are trying to draw a really long line without a ruler. That's hard, even for artists. I can't draw. I can draw a relatively long line, straight line without a ruler, but that's because in 50-something years I've learned how. It's not a perfect straight line, but it's a straight line. So now I want you to write your name legibly in cursive.
Oh.
Remember, you're not going to get the check from the lawyer if he can't read your name.
I was about to do like my signature cursive, which is extremely illegible.
I want you to write it legibly for this nice legal document. And then underneath it,
Oh.
Go ahead. Underneath it, now I want you to write it the way you normally write your name.
When I like sign, you want me to
Just
put
your regular signature.
You want me to sign this and hold it up to Twitch stream?
Just, it's not like they can get it.
It's okay.
Nice,
I'll be giving out some signatures at BlueBoxCon. You guys, all right.
Yeah, really. You can charge money for them then, because you'll be an artist. Okay. You see the difference?
Mm.
Okay, you can put it down now. Can you see the difference? But you still have flowing. You still have flowing, squiggly lines, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But one is nicer. Do you know why?
Because I just sort of did it.
Because you took just a little bit of extra time to make it look like you want it to, correct?
Fair.
That's art. You take the basic shapes, okay? And this is where I want you to flip your paper over, because now this is where the tutorial comes in. Everybody else who's listening, if you have some paper, you feel free to follow along. This is going to be a very simple,
everybody's got some kind of paper.
Demonstration. Okay.
And feel free to share your stuff in Discord when you're done.
Yeah,
so
we've got the
That
fan art channel.
Yeah, we do have a fan art channel. So if anybody draws along tonight, go ahead and share it in Discord. We'd love to see what you do.
I'm going to kind of stall a little bit, give people time to do like you did, run around, grab a piece of paper. Even if you've got Post-it notes, use a separate Post-it note for each step.
So
what I'm going to do. Excuse me.
I guess we can get into your inspiration later, because I like this idea.
This isn't really going to take that long, and then I can go in later.
Sweet.
But
I'm just looking through your Twitter.
I want to dispel the myth so many people have out there that they cannot draw, and they can. It's just a matter of how bad you want it to look, how nice you want it to look, and how long you want to take to do it.
You've got some good art on your Twitter.
Okay.
You just go through.
Yeah, there's a holy toilet.
Are you ready, Thomas? Pay attention. All right, this is where I'm going to be drawing on the screen. Okay. I want you to draw this. Let me know when you have that. You don't have to show me. Just let me know when you're done.
Done.
Okay? And I want you to draw this.
Boom.
Okay. Then draw this.
Oh no. Okay.
And this one's going to be a little more complicated. Draw this. Kind of like an egg shape.
Okay, an egg shape.
All right, let me see.
It's not very eggy, it's more ovally, but
that's okay.
I kind of got
Ovals
it.
are eggs.
That's ovals just as fine. Okay. You now have the 4 basic shapes of people's heads.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna throw an extra one in here. You don't have to if you don't want to. But I'm going to throw that one in there.
Rectangle.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the first one, the square. Okay. And I'm going to want you to lightly draw a line right down the middle.
Boom.
Okay. Now, this is where faces differ. Everybody has a line down their face because we have 2 eyes, a nose in the middle, and a mouth that splits. Our face is basically, all our features are right down the middle of our face. So that's the only place where it differs. Okay. But everybody has a middle of a face. There's going to have, for the most part, an eye on each side, a nostril on each side, and a mouth that stretches across. Okay. So where you put them defines the face. Okay. So let's just say for the most part, people have 2 eyes right toward the middle of the face, right? Okay.
Great.
Then they have a nose. Now, as everyone knows, noses are different shapes. So whatever kind of nose you're looking for, okay, whether it's a slight U, a little V, maybe you want to draw a little bit of a side view. So I
was going to say, because those are head-on perspective noses.
Well, pretty much.
I'm going to go with sort of a...
Do you see what I'm using? I'm using letters of the alphabet.
I'm going to go with like a J.
Mm-hmm.
For my
even
nose.
If you want,
I'm
I'm
going to stick with a J.
Okay, there's an L.
Oh, I should have gone
Still
with
a
an L.
nose. Okay? If you can write, all the basic drawing skills are in our handwriting and alphabet.
Isn't it?
It's just a matter of breaking things into their basic shape.
Didn't
okay?
Matt Groening
Now the
put
mouth
his initials in
is just
Homer
a U.
Simpson's face?
Probably.
Yeah, I think Homer's ear is
It's
a
his
G.
ear in his ear.
Yeah.
There's your mouth. That's the letter U. Okay? Maybe he's mad. It's the letter N.
No, mine's happy.
Maybe he's confused. There's the letter M. Well, this thing blurs a lot, so.
Is that just the pen that you're using? Yeah.
Well, no, it's the setting I have it on. I can make it a little less, but there's the letter M, or if you want the ooh-woo, whatever. But that's the basic shape. That's the basic tenets of a face. You've now got the basics of a cartoon face, okay? So you want to make it a little bit better?
And you said you were originally inspired by, like, anime stuff, right?
I've been inspired by a lot. All sorts of different art inspire me, okay? So what you're going to do, like I did it here, you're going to make 2 little jags on the end. Okay? Going right from the eye to the bottom of the nose. Okay? And then you're going to make a giant U going from those.
Oh, I gave him a really big chin.
That's okay. And then on the top, you're going to do the same thing.
It's okay, I'll give him a really small forehead.
Now, you could literally go to the edges of these cartoons, which is what I'm supposed to do, but I'm going to fix that real quick. So I'm just going to go with my original face that I was doing, okay? So, to the edge, there's the cheek, there's the jaw, and there's the top of the head. Basic head shape.
Looks way better.
Right? But your basics are there. That's why you're using a pencil. You don't like a line, erase it, redo it until it's where you like it.
Just give me your artist critique of that.
That's a very nice peanut. But do you see how much space you have left at the top of your square?
Yeah, it's a lot of hair I can put on.
Erase that line and draw it all the way to the top of the square. Just like I did. I erased mine, I redid it.
That's a good point.
That's why you have an eraser.
You said
that's
I wouldn't need to use
tablets.
It,
well, no, I was just kidding.
I'm
that's
multi-talented.
Why tablets have Control Z and undo and redo, because it may not be perfect the first time.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Nobody is a perfect artist on their first drawing. That's where practice comes in, and that's where using references come in, and that's where getting inspirations come in. There's nothing wrong with copying somebody's art. Okay? It's called practice. It's called reference. What becomes wrong is copying somebody's art and then saying it's your own. That's where it's wrong.
Plagiarism.
You can draw somebody's picture all day long, change 5 things on it, and guess what? Copyright law says no. He's changed 20% of that image. It's now his. So now we're gonna go. We've got our face, right? Most people have hair, right? Oop. Look, hair. Did that look hard? Doesn't look right. We'll add a little bit more there. How's that?
I like that.
His hair on the side. So what's the only thing this picture's missing now? A C on this side, and a D on this side. Guess what? You've just drawn your first face. You're an artist. Are you a great artist?
Yes.
No.
Aw.
Well, maybe for your skill level, you might be a prodigy. But there's your first art. Okay. Second one. Let's go to the circle now.
It's pretty great.
Same thing. Draw a little smooth line.
Come on, look
great. Look at that. Looks just like a face, doesn't it? A recognizable face.
It's a human man.
So let's go to the circle. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but different people have different facial features, not facial features, but where their placement is, and the way their whole face sets makes things different. Some people look like they have a very short forehead, right? So we'll draw the eyes up here. Some people look like they have a very long nose. So we'll draw the nose back down where it belongs. And then some people may have what looks to be like just an itty bitty tiny chin. So we'll put the mouth closer to the bottom. Same facial features.
This guy's got a stretched
different
face.
Looking face. Okay, but now
Long
he looks like he's
face.
got a wide face, so we'll go ahead and give him some bigger ears.
This is the best one yet.
Yeah, you can go like that.
Oh, I like the
and give him
top
some
of the eye
eyeballs,
pupils.
some pupils.
That's good.
Okay. Now, the next part, just to throw a wrench in your system.
Oh no. I used to do this a lot. I would doodle eyeballs, a mouth, a nose, and eyebrows, and I would do it in many different shapes and expressions to try when I was just at school and bored with an expo marker on little whiteboards.
Do you want to know what the very first picture I really tried to draw was? And it was probably in 6th grade, I think.
Was it a snowman in front of a cabin?
No, I was past that. That was my experiment.
Thought I was going to get it right, Pat.
I don't know, a lot of you are probably way too young for this, but for the ones that aren't and are closer to my age, there used to be matchbooks.
Oh, is it the...
And also on the backs of some comic books would be the draw this, and it would be a picture of a pirate or a turtle or some other thing. And the very first thing I tried to draw was that stupid pirate. I don't even remember what it looked like when I was done, but it was like one of those... I can do that, right? You know, I drew a snowman in front of a cabin. But that was the first thing I tried.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Evelyn, when I did the...
Yeah.
Kilroy. Kilroy was here.
Kilroy.
I had to look it up. I forgot what the guy's name was, yeah.
Kilroy.
Yes, Mike,
but anyway,
drawing.
Go get a piece of paper.
To start. So anyway, so now he's got eyebrows. He actually looks like he's thinking about something. But let's give him some hair. And we'll just say he's got curly hair.
Ooh, I like that.
And that's just a bunch of little bumps at the top of his head. And then if you want, you can have a couple dip down below his head. Second face. Was that hard?
Yes. No.
Okay, well, let's go to the diamond. Now we're getting
this one seems hard. This can't be right.
Believe it or not, if you pay attention to people as you walk around and look at the basic shape of their heads, how many people have you seen look like their head comes to a point?
Yeah.
And we'll make these their ears. Draw that line down the middle.
I feel like I've got a pretty rectangular or square face. I don't know.
Are you? I don't see you drawing, mister.
All right. Listen here, bud.
Draw.
Okay.
You have no excuse.
So all you have to do to the top of that diamond is just round it off a little bit, okay? And it's the top of their head. You can do the same thing with the chin. If you want to give them a little bit wider chin, you can square it off a little bit. Say go like that, and go down a little bit, and then back up. Give him a little bit wider chin, but he's still a basic diamond shape. Okay. Now, I'm not going to tell you where to put the eyes. You put the eyes where you like them.
I get to choose.
And I'm going to wait till you're done so people don't think you're copying me. And I want you to do the same with your nose.
Oh no. Oh, nose.
Nobody knows the trouble you're seeing. And don't forget the eyebrows. Now you can make the eyebrows high above the eyes, like they're like shocked, surprised, or down, thinking.
Or one eye, one high, one low.
Like a Vulcan, I don't care.
Miss me high, hit me low.
Make him a Vulcan. Okay.
Oh no, that's not how. Well, no, that's pretty good actually. I kind of like that. I gave him a little L mouth. He a little smirky boy.
I like it. He is smirky boy.
Ha ha ha.
Now, what kind of hair are you giving him?
He's got to have a comb over. It's perfect.
Okay. Do you know how to do a comb over?
It's just lines, right?
There you go. It's nothing but a bunch of lines like this.
What a good looking lad.
I'm making mine bald. I'm just giving him sideburns.
Ooh, sideburns. Get some mutton chops going.
Not sideburns, but just the side.
Oh, the halo.
Yeah.
Where does that haircut come?
We're gonna throw another little monkey wrench into your thing.
Oh no!
Give him a neck.
How do you neck?
I want to see what you think a neck looks like. How do you think his neck should look?
Like that?
There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that neck. Is that his Adam's apple? Oh, that's the bottom of the thing. Okay, so like what you did, just 2 straight lines. Okay, but now, let's say he's a businessman. Go like that. Go like that. And all you've done is made a diamond and a V. Now he's wearing a tie and he's in a collared shirt. You see what I did?
So easy.
Mm-hmm.
It is easy. It's basic shapes. All right. The last one. Well, the last one for you, unless you added the rectangle.
Nah, let's do the egg.
But now we're going to start getting a little bit more detailed. This is where you're going to use that pencil and eraser.
I've already widened my egg to make it eggier.
Okay. Don't forget your line down the middle.
Oh, yep. You're right.
Okay. Now we're going to do
this. I notice you've been doing this, and I feel like a lot of artists do this. Should you make your line that goes down the middle perfectly straight, or should you lightly curve it a little bit? Maybe give them a little bit of...
For what we're doing, just to show people how relatively easy it is to draw a basic face, it's just straight down the middle. Okay. Because this gives them the practice of giving them the 2 eyes evenly spaced, a nose down the middle. Because you'll see a lot of people out there, this is, I'm not going to say it's a pet peeve, but it's one of the things that makes me cringe the most. And I can't criticize people for it because I don't know what they see in their mind to do it. But you'll see people, and they'll have the face kind of like off at an angle, right? The basic, they want it to look like it's not straight on, so they'll draw the eyes, which look okay, and they'll draw the hair up in there, and they've got an ear in here, but then they'll draw the nose right down the middle, and the same for the mouth. Huh. And what that does is that makes it look like, okay, if I were to look at this face straight on, that's what their face would look like.
It's like a Picasso face.
Somebody slapped them. Okay, so it was like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. For a minute, his nose and mouth went off to the side. But for some strange reason, they will always draw a nose right down the middle of the face. Yet they're obviously trying to make it into a 3/4 view, and it's like, what? Whoa, no! Go back and study.
Stop doing that.
It's called perspective, just a slight angle, but I can't, you cannot tell somebody, oh, you're drawing the nose wrong, because that makes you, maybe that's how they like to draw the nose. I don't know.
I mean, Picasso drew faces incorrectly.
Yeah. It just bugs me.
We can be upfront about that.
Every artist has their own little, why did you do that?
That's not how faces look, Picasso, but
yeah. So anyway, let's get rid of all this. Okay. Go back to your egg. I want you to draw little eyes like that. Just little lines.
Oh. We're sleeping.
Okay. And then for the nose, you're just going to draw a little slight triangle.
Oh, triangle. I did a U.
A U, triangle, whatever. So a downward pointing nose is basically what I'm saying. Not flat, not turned, okay? And now we're going to come down here. And we're going to just draw a little smirk, like you said. Put a little line at the end. It shows you smirking.
Great.
Okay. Now, I want you to take the right eye. Pay attention. And you're going to go like this.
Making a cheeky lad?
No. I just want to do one little step at a time. So
Evelyn already knows where this is going.
The same to the other eye. Okay. Then you're going to give them eyebrows. Way up there. Yeah, this is where we're going to deviate. We're not just going to keep the basic shape. You can take your pencil and very lightly do this. Off to the side and in. Give them some cheeks, noticeable cheek lines. You don't have to do it real heavy. You just make them so you can see them. Okay.
Okay.
And you're going to go down that cheek line. We see where the circle here. That's the bad thing about this pin. It doesn't.
You can't really point it.
Where the top of his ear. See the line that you've already got that goes down toward the bottom of his cheek, but the cheek goes where the cheek cuts in.
I see what
right
you
here.
mean. Yeah.
Okay. You're going to go out just a little bit. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to go straight down and then come to a point below, right in the middle of his face like that.
Got it.
Do the same thing to the other side. Go down and then to the middle.
All right.
Now you're going to take your eraser and you're going to get rid of this line. On both sides.
Big chin.
Yeah, well, kind of a pointy big chin. But what you're doing is you're giving them jawbones now. Because everybody has jawbones.
That's one thing you can really count on humans for.
Now,
having jawbones.
Now we're going to get cutesy. You're going to do this with... Oops, I'm in reverse mode still, sorry. You're going to come up here in the eye, and you're just going to do that. You're not going to draw a whole circle. You're just going to draw a line like that. Off to the side.
Okay.
Same with the other side. Okay?
Great.
Got it?
Got it.
All right. Now you're going to come in here again, and you're going to draw like that.
Oh, it's so cute.
Same, both sides, both eyes.
Should I color that in?
No, not yet.
All right.
This is what's
I'm
called the
so
sketching
excited,
phase.
Pat.
You don't need to color everything in. It's all you're just getting your rough dimensions down. Okay. So now I'm going to come down here and we're going to give him a neck. Give him a nice thick neck.
Love a lad with a thick neck.
Mm-hmm. And then here's the basic rule for an ear. The ear almost always goes from the top of the eye to the bottom of the nose. Okay?
That's a big ear.
However, no, I was just showing you the lines. So however big of an ear you want to give them.
Oh, you're saying like at max. That's...
For the most part. I mean, if you're going to exaggerate an ear, you don't have to follow that rule.
True.
But the basic rule of anatomy is the top of the ear goes to the top of the eye.
Which, especially in D&D, you're potentially dealing with gnomes, elves, dwarves.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got a blood elf, or, yes, the ear goes way up.
You said blood elf and Evelyn perked up.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft?
Okay. So, like you said, like a little gnome ear would go like that. Sorry. But it's still basically from the top of the eye to the bottom of the nose. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So give him whatever kind of ears you want, following that rule. Okay, I'm going to have to mute my microphone for a minute.
You're good? I'll focus on my ear. Giving him little pointy ears. Kind of orcish. Look at that. You like that, Evelyn? Am I doing good?
It's good. I like him.
My strong-jawed orc boy.
He looks very orcish.
I'm gonna put two. Well, maybe tusks would look like fat. Do tusks come up from the bottom? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fangs from the top. Tusks
Fangs from the top. Oh, there he is. Now he's a real orc.
He's a real orc. I like him. He's very personable.
Sorry about that.
You are good.
There were noises in the house that I think nobody needed to hear. So I'm just going to erase my demonstration ear here, and I'm going to give him a matching gnome ear. Okay. So now you've advanced your basic shapes to add more anatomy. Wasn't that difficult, right? So now when you look at people's faces, you can say, oh, he's got jaws that come out, or he's got very prominent jaws, or they've got very thin jaws.
You can see my progression across.
Dude, that's awesome. No, that's very excellent. Now give him some hair, whatever kind of hair you want.
He's bald.
Bald is not hair.
Oh, you jerk. I'll give him like a 5 o'clock shadow. What would that be? Stubble? I'm just gonna dots. There, how about that? Wow. That's some luscious hair you've given your boy.
Surfer hair.
Surfer hair. That's actually a really good description of that.
That's the very, very first style of hair I learned to draw.
Surfer hair?
Yep. Well, because I went to high school out in California, and there were so many surfer boys out there. Everybody had the big, rakish hair that went back.
Yeah.
So, but there you go.
It's that easy, folks.
Did you put the rectangle on there or not?
I didn't.
Put one on there, and I want you to draw a face all on your own. I want you to add jaws. I want you to add a chin, the ears and hair, eyebrows, and if you want, you can color in your little eye spots.
Well, while I do that, why don't you tell us how you come up with the amazing comedy that you come up with while you do this? Because you draw such funny stuff every time.
That's because I see something in my head real quick, and I have a problem. Many artists have this problem. No. The more I think of how to draw something, the harder it is for me to draw. So if I crank out just a real quick whip sketch, whatever, I can clean it up relatively quickly without thinking. That's why if you notice, a lot of my artwork is not anatomically perfect or correct, but it's just a quick portrayal of an image in my head to capture the moment that happened in the stream, in the campaign, whatever, And unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with Cade, which is great, because Jenny does a great job with Cade being that type of foil to the party. Very self-centered, very egocentric. But however, every once in a while, as we've seen, Cade does care about his party members.
He can be a loving lad.
When you knocked Markov down to minus,
brought him back up.
Cade was like, isn't there something I can do? It's that feeling of helplessness, And then everyone's like, well, you do have this one thing you can try. And he's like, wow. And literally, she deserved MVP that week because she literally saved the campaign. She got Markov up to 1 health above being unconscious, and he knocked you out, which Evelyn was able to tie you up, blah, 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 blah. But
that fight was genuinely concerning.
When the funny things happen in the stream, I can take it up to my level of humor and try to make it into something like that without being obnoxious. Because, I'm sorry, I'm an ex-sailor and an ex-truck driver. I can be vulgar, but I know that's not the stream that we're going for here. So I try to take what may have been just a mildly funny scene and turn it into a funnier scene. Like Cade grabbing the arrows out of the fire with her mage hand. And I was like, okay, if I was Cade and I knew my hand was going into fire, how would I protect it? So instead of just a mage hand, she summoned a mage of glove. And that's what that was, is Cade helping out, grabbing arrows from the fire, using her mage hand, but the mage hand didn't want to get hurt, so it was wearing a of glove. The Greyhawk Awakening, the constant running joke of Rizia's melons is just a perfect thing to do. And the thing that I try to do the most, okay, so say like Cade crashing into the, oops, I'm still in eraser mode, crashing into the dock. Okay, so here's my piece of paper. It's funny. Cade's going to crash into the dock, and one of the things people on the stream said was like, yeah, but it's Sandpoint, and everyone's going like, oh, it's just Cade, which makes the instance already funny. Because no matter what he does, people are just going to be like, oh, yeah, it's Cade. But Cade's going to make sure that they know that it's Cade. So the thing was, okay, you've got a dock. Now you need a ship crashed up on it. The ship has sails. And Cade's shooting off fireworks, and then there's Cade on the thing going like, it's me, huzzah! And so that's all I did. is just I start off with a very rough sketch. I try to get the elements in there, and then I'll take this layer that I just drew, and I'll come up to my layers, and I'll make the opacity real low, and then I'll drop up to the top layer, and then I'll clean up the lines using the better ink thing, whatever. And then if it's something that's gone fairly quickly, then I'll try to add some color. But if it's something where it's taking me a while and the story's reprogressing too fast, I'll leave it uncolored, just so I can get the joke out there.
Yeah.
So before people forget what it was.
Would you like to see what I made?
It. Huh?
Would you like to see the face I made?
Yeah. There. Looks like a friar.
Yeah.
Now you need to give him a scrawny neck and put just the top of a friar monk robe over him.
A habit.
Yeah. And that's great. I mean, you went from saying I can't do this to you did it with no direction from me, and you pulled the image from your head. And that's all there is to being an artist. How great the final product is depends on how much time and effort you want to put into it.
How dare you make me feel good at art?
It's like the difference between printing your name legibly, signing your name legibly, and just doing your quick, lazy signature. Everyone can be an artist. Everyone can draw. It's just a matter of how much effort they want to put into it. And then if they like what they're doing, it's a matter of how much farther do they want to progress.
There, how about that?
So,
I gave him the
father's thing. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's even better. But there you go. How hard was that? I mean, in all reality, how hard was that?
Not very hard.
You took basic shapes,
You're totally right.
Added more basic shapes to it, and made it your own. And that's all there is to art.
So
and I know it looks weird because I keep looking off to the side.
Yeah.
Even though my camera's up here, my screen where you guys are is
over there.
Off to my side.
We had a good question in chat. Sam was wondering, what tool are you using on your... Because this is an iPad, right?
Yeah. I found a long time ago, and I'll get out of this. I don't know if it'll... But this little icon here, this little bug thing down at the bottom, is called Sketchpad. Or not Sketchpad. Sketch Club, 2 words. It's like a $3 to $5 app, and it's very, very basic tools. Like, see, here's my pencil tools, all my brush tools, and I can select something if I want. I can add text. The vector tool lets me do basic freeform shapes, and it'll automatically fill it in, all that stuff. Pen, fill tool, eraser tool, a blurring tool, really basic tools, basic settings for them. And then you've got your straight, basic, it'll either just draw like a triangle. So whatever tool I'm using, it'll draw a triangle in whatever shape triangle.
So is this the only app you've used? Have you tried other ones?
No. I've used others, or I've tried to use others. Like I said, the more I think on a piece of art, the harder is for some reason is for me to get it. This lets me do my art quickly, and yet still good. And the thing... It took me many. I'll show you.
And so, like, one thing to remember is this tool might work really well for Pat, might not be the right one for you. Like, a tool, especially for Mac, that's been thrown around recently a lot is Procreate. I know that's one that people really love.
Well, yeah, Procreate's also on the iPad. A lot of these are now on the iPad. If you've heard of Clip Studio Paint, is supposed to be a Photoshop contender without paying the absurd monthly Creative Cloud fee subscription. Clip Studio Paint. It used to be Manga. What the heck was it called? Manga Studio or something like. But anyway, yeah. It's a relatively cheap. You purchase it once, I think. And it's yours, and you get a crap ton of tools for doing illustration. A lot of people say Clip Studio Paint is good for the people who like to do comic books, and because it'll let you do the panels and all the other stuff and layout and stuff like that. Procreate is I think an iPad only. I don't know if you can use it on a MacBook or not.
Procreate is iPad only, yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the one I use, Sketchpad, is also iPad only. But like I said, it's a very basic tool, but I can do things like that with it.
Yeah.
And I can do them quickly because I know what tool it is that lets me cheat. And it's called the vector tool. And I'm going to show you guys that. for people who like comic, because like I'm gonna go come down here. There was a picture I found. It was a really older picture that was I was trying to use a brush to do a lot of my shading and coloring. And where'd it go? I saw it this afternoon. I was going to use it as an example. I probably shot past it already. No, there it is. This one here. Look at the background.
Yeah.
That, to me, was frustrating. That is not how I wanted my backgrounds to look. That is not, I mean, look at the shading. You can see the brush strokes where I try to use gradients, but using brush strokes and gradient. And while the effect is still relatively good, it is not what I wanted. It is like, oh, I hate it. What, that's why I started experimenting with Clip Studio and Procreate and some of the other stuff. But the brush settings for me are very, very complicated, and I can't get the brushes to do what I want them to do, whereas this one does. And I don't know what the difference is, but I get brush strokes better than this. But then I asked somebody, as a matter of fact, accidentally asked the guy who made the program. I'm like, is there something I can use that'll let me do this? He goes, oh yeah, just use that tool. I said, I've tried, that's just a shape tool. He goes, oh no. Go into the settings and click on the gradient. And I went in there and I clicked on it and I did it. And dude, let me tell you, I blew up his forum for like a week, just gushing over this one tool, posting the pictures that I'd drawn in nothing but line art before because I was so afraid to color them, going like, oh my God, this is great. And it's literally, I went from that thing to, from that to that in like less than a month.
That's insane.
And it was all simply because of the way the tool worked is the way I wanted the tool to work. And what it does, let me go back to...
That's the coolest Yoda.
Yes, that's my Yoda God of War. And when I tell people...
So cool.
It all depends on how much effort you want to put into it. That picture, even though it looks cool, took me over a year just to get the pose and the look the way I want. I went through so many things, and just like literally, if it was on paper, I would have thrown it in the trash and forgot about it and walked away. And then I would come back later, try again, throw it away, come back. And then one day, it just popped out. Literally, that sketch, that pose, took me 20 minutes to finally get out of my head and put it on paper to where I wanted it to look. And it was like, oh, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. And so...
You were apparently extremely committed to seeing Yoda as God of War, huh?
Yeah. Well, I had that thing stuck in my head because there were so many people on social medias posting their stupid God of War gameplay pictures and this and that. And
it's a great game.
And I was like, I liked the look of the guy. Whatever his name, Kratos or whatever, Krakatos or whatever. I was like, that's cool. But then I was like, that would look cool if Yoda had that. Yeah.
See, this is what Pat does. He just comes up with like random ideas in his head and sticks with them and draws them. That's what you got to do to make funny fan art.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't always work. I had literally given up on that picture. And then one day was just like, let me try one more time. And bam, it popped out. And I think what it is I see it in my mind enough times I can finally put it on paper. Whereas I'm just have the first initial general idea, I really don't know what he looks like. I don't know what I want him to look like. I don't know what pose I want him in. I don't know what I'm... And that's what gets frustrating because you try a pose, oh, it looks stupid. You try another pose, that looks stupid. You try another, oh my God, his head's too big. Oh my God, his feet are too big. And you get frustrated as an artist. Anybody who draws, anybody who paints, anybody who does anything, minis, sculpting, they know that frustration. That is not what I want it to look like. I hate it. Throw it away. Called artist rage. Everybody has it. So when you guys see me posting these pictures on the fan art streams or on the streams and all that other stuff, trust me, I am not putting effort into it because I don't want to overthink it. I just want to capture the moment as quickly as I can, make it as clean as I can. And that's why if you look at a lot of the words on the pictures, if I have them saying stuff, you'll notice that that's not clean text. That's just me trying to write it in real quick. So my fan art, while it looks great, I wouldn't try to sell it to anybody. I really wouldn't. I mean, it's great that the memories are there, and for most people that know or don't know, I don't keep the fan art on my iPad. I delete it. The only place that fan art now is on that streamer's channel.
No, then I have to download all of it.
I was also
I do that with
Discord.
Blue Box isn't the only stream that I've done some of this fan art for. And they're like, "Oh, that's great. Can you look at it again?" And then they're like, "Do you still have that picture?" I'm like, "No, I delete it." What? The only place it is on the channel. It's fan art for you guys.
Yeah.
So when I post the fan art, I post it for you guys. I don't keep it. For one thing, my iPad is a first generation iPad, and I worry about running out of space on my iPad because I literally have no way of knowing how big these files are on the iPad. All I know is it still says I have room. So the fan art I don't keep.
I can tell you that personally, as a player, the first time I got PatDraws fan art was like a seminal moment for me at Blue Box. It was such a good feeling.
I try not to keep drawing the same thing over. Like,
it's hard not to draw Cade every time.
You guys adventure with Cade.
It is a problem
for you guys to compete with Cade.
We probably should kill Cade. You're right.
Cade. I'm turning this.
I mean, you blow yourself up a couple times, Thomas.
I'll take him down with me, right?
Every time.
My favorite picture, actually, believe it or not, my favorite picture of Alcott is the one I drew with a boy in his golem.
Yeah, and then, but I loved.
Happy little girl.
I didn't realize this. That later you took that art and you copied it and you just added some animated armor behind it to a boy and his army, and he's dragging the golem behind him. Yeah,
and it was literally just the one suit of armor that was copied like 5 times.
Yeah,
and I just layered it and erased the lines I didn't need it. But yeah, I mean that's a lot. Like I said, a lot of the art is just strictly, how can I convey this as quickly as possible without taking up the whole 4-hour stream for one joke? I mean, because there have been times you guys have been on rolls. I'm sorry. And Evie, I know you like the art of Irda, but she is so time consuming because every time she pops her wings in game, I want to draw a picture of it. And I want dazzling and beams bursting out of her. And just like, I remember the first time you sat there and you said you popped my wings, and just the way you said it, and I draw my sword, and I was like, oh my God, I have to do that. And that's where Irda the Fierce came out. It was like,
yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, the inspiration isn't necessarily from pictures or other people's art or things. A lot of times, it's fun to draw a funny moment and try to capture it. So, and like I said, drawing isn't that bad or isn't that hard, but it takes practice. Art takes practice. It's like anything anybody wants to do well. You want to be a football player? You got to put in the time.
Yeah.
You want to be a Wall Street broker? You got to do the time. You got to learn the tricks and the ins and the outs and everything is not to sound really corny Hallmark. Anything worth doing is worth doing well. It's just a matter of how well do you want to do it. So, how good of an art, dog. Oh my God. I have to let this dog out. Out.
But while we have a second, anybody in chat, if you have questions for Pat, because we are getting near the end of our time here
that was rough.
At LMA. If you have questions for Pat, send them in the chat.
Yeah,
let's get some questions out before we go.
I haven't really had a chance to read the chat, so I don't know if
I've been keeping up with it pretty well for you.
I hope I'm not ignoring anybody.
No, you are doing good. If there were any questions, I have sent them your way.
I'm gonna clear my drawing screen because I wanted to show you guys some of the basics of this app they were asking about. Again, it's called Sketch Club. You can find it in the App Store. Like I said, it's probably less than $5. I want to say it's $3. Might even be $3.99, but whatever. And when you download it and you start using it, they actually have their own website where you can upload your art to. It goes right into your own little channel there, and the rest of the forum and the rest of the community can see your art when you post it.
Oh yeah, they've got like a whole thing.
You can get a lot of inspiration. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who, as you can tell, are new to being artists, and there's also a lot of people out there that can do much better stuff than I do with this same program. So don't sit there and think that they're using something better, because they're not. They're using this program. They've just learned how to make all the tools work the way you want them to work. Me, I'm simplistic. I want the tools to work easily. So the
Like
first thing I do
this
is
crazy
I come up.
sunflower.
Oops, I'm sorry. Is it's called the sketchy tool, and that's basically my sketching pencil. And like you said, the faster I move it, you'll see where it'll kind of blur into each other. That's the sketchy tool. That's what I'll use first to draw my faces. You know, whoop, hey, here we go. Let's say this is Irda. There's her wings popping out. Whoosh, big wings. She's mad. She's always mad when she's fighting.
She is a barbarian, so
Ferocious.
But then her hair is in a braid, so she doesn't have huge flowing locks, so her hair is relatively easy to draw. There's her ear. It's pulled back, and then it comes down in a braid. Whee!
always the braid.
You know, there's
Battle
her
braid.
neck. So whatever she's doing. So basically, you come up with a basic sketch like this. Then I'll move up to the next layer, and I'll come to what's called the smooth brush, which is basically a mix between a pencil and the pen. And the reason that I like this brush over Clip Studio and Procreate is the way I do my line art. I like it to feel very freeform. Whereas there are line art people, you'll see people, you know, doing this, erase, you know, a line, erase, line, erase, line, you know. I don't like that. I'll sit here and go, okay, here's Irida's face. So there's her cheek, there's her eye, her forehead, her eyebrows. She's mad.
So
Let's
angry.
get that mad in there. There's her nose. She's upset. Somebody just made fun of Sarah and Ray. So
Oh no!
You know.
Real mad.
So then her hair, you know, I'll come in. You know, I won't always follow it greatly, but you know. So you get Irda. But the reason I like this brush is when I have to make big, thick, heavy lines, and it goes like that, it'll automatically fill in a lot. Fills in real fast for me. Gives me the solid line I like, but as you can see, it's not a straight line. I mean, it's not perfect. I like that. That's how I like my line art. People go, "Oh, your line art's so clean." It's like, look a little closer. It's not. But this is what I say. It's perfectly okay to copy somebody's art if you're learning from it. You take something you see that you like, you learn how to do it, and then you make it something you want it to be. Okay? That's how you start your own style. My style comes from a lot of different sources. I like the bigger cartoony kind of heads, the little bit shorter stubby bodies. It's not chibi. It's not anime. It's kind of in between, you know. The chibi hands are little tiny stubby 3-fingered things. I like having real hands, okay? I can't draw them real well, but, you know,
it would be very, very fun to have some PatDraws coloring books.
That's kind of a sore spot with me. I have had people tell me this. No. People go, you should make a coloring book out of your line art. And I thought about it. But I have also been drawing long enough to know that when somebody says you should do something, that's the person that's not actually going to buy it.
Fair.
And I have 2 online art stores, or not art stores, 2 online stores with my artwork on it, full of pictures that people go, I'd love that on a t-shirt. Still sitting there with no sales.
Yeah.
Okay. So when somebody says, I like it, my first thought is, okay, put down a big deposit, make it worth my while. Let me know you're really interested. Because it's going to take time to take that art, clean it up, put it in a format. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind having my art out there. I would love to have a coloring book. I think it would be great too. I'd love to see how people envision my artwork in their color scheme. As a matter of fact, I've got a picture of one here. Oops, dumbass. Yeah, save changes. Actually, no, I don't have a picture. Well, I have the line art. Glasses on because this thing's so small. I have the line art, and then I might have the picture somewhere else. It was one of my Warcraft tunes when my granddaughter was born. I made a tune on Warcraft and named her my nickname for her, which was Monkey Butt. I made her a monk.
Nice.
There you go. This is her. This is the character in Warcraft. This is my Monkey Butt monk.
Oh my gosh.
And on the sketch club forum, one guy came up here and was like, "Dude, do you mind if I color that?" I'm like, "Oh, whatever, knock yourself out." And he was like, "No, no, no, seriously, can I color that?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead, have fun with it. Just don't take credit for it. Don't let me catch you, selling prints or something of it." And
Mm-hmm.
he started showing me the progress of it. And dude, I almost wept. He did such a freaking phenomenal job. I mean, she had chrome. The balls were glowing and looked metallic. All that. I mean, I was like, holy crap! Never in my life. I mean, this was before I had found my vector tool. He knew about it, so he was using it, but he was using it on a much higher level than I would was. I wish I could pull up the picture of his finished one. I might do it in the fan art section. If I find it after we get done streaming, I'll post this and his version of this. And I was so happy with it. I made it into a giant poster and sent it to my granddaughter to put on her wall.
Oh, wow.
And to this day, it's actually still on her wall.
Huh.
But he did
That's so
such a
cool.
great job. I mean, like I said, I would never have thought of coloring it the way that he colored it
Mm-hmm.
because one, I knew what it looked like in Warcraft.
Yeah.
So those weren't the colors, but you color it however you want. I don't care. And then he showed me what he was doing, and I was like, what? So I mean,
I
I
mean,
would love to put
that's why
a
community
coloring book
stuff
together. The only problem is
is so cool.
I don't think it's going to be worth my time
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
just because one person wants to color one picture. You know what I'm saying? Even
Right.
though I've had people come up to me a lot and go like, "Oh, dude, I would love to have a little coloring book." Okay, you gonna buy one? Hello, you still there? Hello,
Right.
It's good
it's a
stuff, though.
fickle business out there, and I'm a very jaded old man, and so it's like one of those. That's why my I do commissions for emotes and avatars and character creations if you want. You go to my Twitch channel, even though I haven't streamed in a while, and go to my pins. There's the commissioning rules are there, the prices I set, and you have to pay in advance. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
you don't see a single line. Because I
Right.
learned from other successful commission artists that that's what they say is like, no, they don't
Yeah.
pay in advance, they don't get nothing because they will run off with your artwork and not pay you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing against the
Pay
potential
your artists,
customers.
people.
It's yeah,
It's
basically. I
important.
mean, you would be surprised how much people want your art but don't want to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
So
Oh,
it's
mind,
yeah.
you
Pat, if
have
I
to
show
you have to
you
cover yourself with
some fan art that I had made for the podcast that I ran? You want to pull up the stream really
that
quick?
you made or
So I had it made. I got it commissioned because
oh
I'm
okay.
not an artist and will never claim to be an artist on your
Uh,
level.
uh,
But
uh, uh. Okay, on my
I'm
level, you have
yes,
proven yourself to be an
you're
artist.
right, but that is not what I'm saying here and now. And so like this is just a very good example of like pay your people for your art because you can get gorgeous stuff like this. This is the character I played, Thoradin Iron Fist, and
Yeah,
he was a
okay. Yeah.
barbarian monk. And
Did you print that on your character sheet?
uh, we actually my wife and I we had some like poster size versions of all of our characters printed
Oh,
with height
nice.
adjustments because like all of us are shorties. We had a
Yeah.
halfling, a gnome, two dwarves, and a drow. So like the drow was
Yeah.
significantly taller than everybody else, but we had this awesome art made of everybody with the details of all the magic items that we had and like it just so happened that one of my friends knew an artist who is really talented and I absolutely refused to pay her any I refused to not pay her more than what she asked for. The art is just incredible and
Um, every now and then you'll get somebody who really does appreciate your art. And I'm getting ready to show you something. Here we go.
I love this one. This is my wife's
I did
character.
this for a fellow streamer just as a not kind of a joke, but kind of a gift. The running joke was every time she would pop into a stream that I was watching as well, I would say, "Ooh, a wild dices sighting," and it kind of became a running joke in her stream. And so I drew her as a wild dices, and it actually started off a small series. I have, I think, 6 or 7 characters now of different streamers in their wild form.
Oh, nice.
Right.
And Mike Disney is the only male version. there is a wild Mike Disney
wild
character
Mike.
out there as well. But I've got a wild Dices and a wild Zambies and a wild Mocha Mini and several. So it's a streamer that I respect. One, their talent is great. Two, their personality is phenomenal, and just their overall talent and the way they are, gives me a vision of what they would look like as the wild version.
That's why I don't have one yet.
And I don't ever charge them for it. I don't ever charge them for it. This is, you're now a member of the club, and it's a gift for them because I enjoy drawing. But every now and then something happens where your artwork is appreciated, and somebody does something like this.
Oh, that's so cool. Fan art of fan art.
Well, no, actually, this was, I talked to somebody who saw the drawing and said, "Oh, I'd love to make that into a 3D mini." Knock yourself out. And I gave, once he gave me the STL file, I gave it to her so she can sell herself on her channel and make some money, because she's, one, she's going through some hard times right now, but it's, you never know what's going to happen. As a matter of fact, there's another artist out there. He commissioned me for his one of his D&D characters, and he paid me. He had no problems paying me, and when he was done, he even tipped me. But now he's got somebody from Reaper sculpting his character into a 3D mini from Reaper. So
that's awesome.
It's like I said, it's I don't necessarily do this to make an income. It's nice to make money off it.
Yeah.
But I just like drawing. And a lot of times I'll draw something and give somebody something, and they'll be all like, "Oh, you didn't have to do that." Well, yeah, I know.
I mean, I think that if you go into it with the thought of, I'm going to make lots of money off of this, you're only going to hurt yourself off of trying to do that.
It depends on your talent level.
True.
It depends on your talent level and the amount of time you have to put into it.
But if that's the only reason you're going into it, I don't think that that's probably the best of things.
There are a lot of art streamers out there that this is their full-time job. They stream 3, 4, 5 times a week, and they do their artwork, because they're hoping to get somebody to commission them. And a lot of them get commissions, and they make a lot of money off of it.
Fair.
I just don't have the time to do that. I mean, I would love to get back into my art streaming. I'm hoping with the new job that I've got, once the busy season slows down, I'm hoping to start streaming 2 or 3 nights a week with my art and start doing some more commission. Like I said, I not do avatars. I do emotes. Emotes are fairly quick, fairly easy to do, and the people are really happy with them. They throw them on their channels. Now they've got emotes, and now with Twitch making 6 or 7 open emote slots, the need out there is great. So I'm kind of hoping I can get back out there and start doing some emotes for people, and like the Mad Chatter thing.
That was such a good emote.
It wasn't actually supposed to be an emote. Jenny said that, hey, I want to make a pin out for the Mad Chatter thing, and it was a Mad Chatter design, a pin for the Mad Chatter pin. Good Lord. Talking is hard. It was a design for the Mad Chatter pin.
Right.
John, I think, got confused and thought I was submitting it as an emote, which I was mortified. And you can ask Mike Disney if he was there the following day. I went to his channel and said, "Dude, I'm really sorry. I told him it was a pin design. He wasn't supposed to make an emote because I knew you and Taryn were doing emotes for him, and I didn't want to look like I was trying to butt in on what he was paying you to do. For one thing, I didn't charge him for it, and two, it's like sometimes people can get offended. Mike wasn't. Mike's he's great. He's like, no, Dad, I don't care. We weren't doing that kind anyway. But you as an artist, as a fellow streamer and an artist, you have to be respectful of the other people, especially if they're doing something similar for the same person. You don't want to step on toes. It's just rude. It looks like you're trying to horn in on them. Looks like you're trying to make them look bad, or and I didn't want him thinking that I had done this to take emote sales from him. And it's like, he was like, "Oh, no, that was great." Okay, I just wanted to make sure you knew. This was supposed to be a pin design, not an emote design. I mean, it does look great as an emote, and I love having it. But I, as a streamer, it's not just all happy-go-lucky what I'm drawing, and you have to be respectful of the other streamers and the artists. So I think we've probably wasted enough people's times. It's probably time to go. So,
all right, everyone. So real quick, if anybody has any questions for Pat, I'm gonna start getting our raid set up to go raid Jay because he's doing his thing. But yes, if anybody has any questions for Pat, right before we go, and Thomas, any last words?
Oh gosh, you're doing what John does to you, but to me, I'm an artist, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah. And guys, if you did follow along, and don't worry about what it looks like. Post it in the Discord. Let's see how well you did.
And round of applause for the amazing PatDraws. What a you should have a PBS special because that was walking me through drawing was awesome. You were so relaxed and calm.
We have a happy little nose here.
Yes, I loved it.
There are no wrong noses. It's just a happy little nose.
It was great.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Hopefully I dispelled the myth that nobody can draw. You know, everyone
can draw.
It's just a matter of how much you want to put into it and breaking things down into basic shapes.
And one of the really important things that you said is don't be afraid to have fun while you do it. Tell a fun joke, tell a fun story.
That should really be the only reason you're doing it is you're having fun with it. Really. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not art. It's work.
Yep.
You know. And I already have a job, so I don't need
All right, everyone. Thank you very much. We're going to head over to Jay's stream now, and we will be back Sunday. So we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Salud.
Ready now.
Great. We went over.
Boom.
Stop streaming.
I know.